you have searched my heart, and you know when I sit and when I stand. Your hand is upon me, protecting me from death, keeping me from harm. Oh Lord, I know you are near, standing always at my side. You guard me from the foe, and you lead me in ways everlasting.
Welcome to your cathedral. I'm Father Greg Sakowicz. Special thank you to Mark Teresi, David Jonas, who again week in and week out provide beautiful, beautiful music. David and Mark, you make this whole spiritual video much more prayerful. So thank you, Mark and David. Special thanks to Paula Colleen, assisted by Father Mark Smolka, who's not here. So Paula will take over this ministry. So Paula, you'll do a great job and with your beautiful smile. So thanks for now being behind the camera today. So special thanks to Paula Colleen. Two men were shipwrecked on an island. The minute they got on this island all shipwrecked, one of them started screaming, yelling, "We're going to die. We're going to die. There's no food. There's no water. We're going to die." The second man was propped up against a palm tree and acting so very calmly, it drove the first man crazy. "Don't you understand," he said, "we're going to die. We're not going to make it." The second man replied, "You don't understand. I make $100,000 per week." The first man looked at him totally dumbfounded and asked, "What difference does that make? We're on an island with no food, no water. We are going to die." The second man answered very calmly, "You just don't get it. I make $100,000 a week, and I give $10,000 per week to my church in the collection basket. My pastor will find me." Paula loves that one. So do I. Folks, that's one of the best jokes I've told, if I say so myself. Today, this weekend, we celebrate the 33rd Sunday in Ordinary Time. Next week is the end of the liturgical year, celebrate Christ the King. But know this about life. At times, life works best when there is a set routine and schedule to be followed. We know what to expect and what is expected. We know who we can count on, who to avoid. We know what works, what hangs us up. But this is very unreal. Why? Because every once in a while, someone or something comes along and messes up the whole schedule. They disappoint us, they surprise us, they anger us. Maybe it's a child looking for a hug. The last 20 months, COVID-19, a huge surprise. Many people have lost loved ones. Others have contracted the virus. Maybe it's the boss telling us we're no longer needed, the loss of a job. Maybe marriage ends in divorce. Maybe an unexpected death of a loved one. And it goes on and on and on. We cannot program life. Life is a mystery, not a computer card. Yet all of us, we have our calendars. We all have our schedules. Sometimes events and people's, their expectations don't turn out the way we had planned or hoped. The point is, I'm beginning to believe we spend our whole lives trying to be in control. We're not in control. Great line from a Lennon song. Life is what happened while I was making other plans. Think about that. Life is what happened while I was making other plans. The more I live, the more I come to realize Life is filled with mystery. Life is filled with God. And this weekend's gospel clearly shows us that we are not in control. Today's gospel talks about the end of the world. But we are faced with daily terrible and senseless killings in Chicago, in our nation, in our world. We're battling COVID-19, refugees seeking a home. The list goes on and on and on. And we ask, will it ever end? Will it ever end? So what is our response to the whole thing? The believer through faith, trusting life, trusting God, admitting the ambiguity and frailty of life, says, endings can be beginnings. Never with absolute certainty, but trusting God, trusting life. Now Christ comes to us amidst life to be our source, our hope, our sustainer, and our destiny. Emmanuel, which means God is with us. How? Because Jesus is all of us. Jesus initiates and runs after us. God pursues us. And the Lord loves us more than we love ourselves. In his own life, Jesus was not spared from pain and temptation. He knows well the bouts that affect us, the temptations and frustrations that press upon us. Jesus showed compassion and love to those who suffered and those filled with pain, because he himself suffered, struggled, and experienced sorrow. The word life. Did you ever think that the word life, L-I-F-E, smack in the middle of the word life, is the word if? Right in life is if, which means we're not in control. Life does not possess many answers. Life is like an hourglass. The day we are born, the hourglass is turned over, and none of us knows how much sand is ours. Life is a mystery to be lived and not a problem to be solved. Life is a mystery to be lived and not a problem to be solved. St. Anselm many years ago once said, "Nothing is more certain than death, nothing more uncertain as to its hour." Today's gospel speaks to the precious limits of time. God gives us only so many days to complete our journey through life. Yet sometimes we often squander our time trying to justify our anger instead of reconciling. Or as we grow older, life is making me bitter instead of better. It is impossible to live unless we live together. It is impossible to live unless we live together and draw from each other's strength and love. And if at times we cannot stand each other, it is also true that without each other, we cannot stand. I'll say it again. If at times we cannot stand each other, it is also true that without each other, we cannot stand. Some years ago, a young man, a college-age guy, searched all of Europe for the Holy Man, and he found him. He knocked on the Holy Man's door, and the Holy Man said, "Come in." The young man, college-age, looked around in the Holy Man's home. All he saw was a desk, a bed, a chair, and many, many books. So the young man asked the Holy Man, he says, "Where's your furniture?" The Holy Man asked the young man, he said, "Where's yours?" And the young man said, "I'm only a visitor. I'm only passing through." And the Holy Man said, "So am I. So am I." Learning how to live and learning how to die go together. No one except God knows the exact time of the end of the world or when the good Lord will call each one of us back to himself. But this I do know, our hearts were made for God, and they will not rest until they rest in thee. And please know this, no one can go back and start a new beginning, but starting today, we can make a new ending. No one can go back and start a new beginning, but starting today, we can make a new ending with the help and grace of God. May God bless all of you, one day at a time. Daylight continues to grow shorter, but God is with us. I can't even right now say go Bears anymore. So how about this? Go Bulls. God bless. Amen.
Lord is my light and my help. Whom should I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Before whom should I shrink? The Lord is my light and my salvation. Of whom should I be afraid? Of whom should I be afraid?